Hey everyone, before this video starts, I'd like to give a special thank you to all my Patreon and Twitch subscribers. If you'd like to learn how to support this channel, possibly for free, just hang out till the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. So this is Jack Denmo's TikTok that's been blowing up quite a bit lately with some pretty solid bangers.
Tall girls are super insecure on dating apps and in real life.
Okay. He's really been blowing up. Because we're in a really good space in life right now where we're calling out people that are part of the manosphere. So this is typically men who for whatever reason feel the need to talk down on women. And what you need to understand here is that there is a specific motive, and I want you guys to understand this. In life, you always should ask these questions: is what are you saying? And why are you saying it? Those are two very important questions, okay? Right? So, for instance, he says, tall girls are insecure. Now, that might actually be true because men tend to want shorter, smaller women. So, what he's saying sounds like it could be true. The question is, why are you saying it? And the reason is to shit on women, while at the same time trying to seem like an expert on dating. That's all it is. And there's a specific pattern of just constantly saying ridiculous things about women, specifically so that you can seem like, I know women, I'm fucking virtuous. Like, for instance, he has a video where he says women don't, how many women do you know how to have hobbies? Well, right? And, well, listen, I don't know. Maybe women have a less of a likeliness to have hobbies. I don't really know. My wife doesn't really have any hobbies. All right. She works and then we hang out. to be honest with you, I guess I don't really have any hobbies either. I guess weightlifting or just putting on weight. But anyway, something I used to have be a hobby. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. He also made it, but the reason that you're making that is just to take another jab at women while also platforming yourself. It's to shit on women while making yourself seem like an expert. Right. And then there was another thing where he talked about how like gravity didn't affect women. Gravity didn't affect women in some capacity. What he was trying to say was that women don't have to work as hard to look good when it comes to the gym than men do, right? But he brought gravity, and I can't even show you these videos because he removed them out of utter embarrassment, which was probably smart. He has this video where he talks about it to this girl, and the reason that he brought this girl on, because I've watched through these, go watch it yourself, because frankly it's boring, is so that he can use another woman that like probably likes him in some capacity to say like, look, a woman agrees with me. I'm invincible. I must like women. I must not hate women. The irony is not lost on me that this is called "Pick Me Girls," the title of that. Anyway. When it comes down to it, his argument was that men have to work harder when it comes to the gym versus women. The problem with that is two things. First of all, beauty standards are much more strenuous on women than men. Like a woman, generally, the way that women are perceived by society is that like your value is in the way that you look, versus men is like the value is in what your accomplishments are. It's just a kind of a matter-of-fact thing. That's why you can see, usually when you have two people that are together and one of them's ugly and one of them's not, that's the guy that's ugly all the time. I mean, we have shows like The King of Queens. I'm not even kidding, where you have like this fat guy with a fucking bombshell wife. King of Queens, The Flintstones. I know you think I'm memeing. It's a real thing where you got like these fat dudes with these like bombshell wives. That's the whole thing. It's like, it's a stereotype. It's like a thing, but you don't really have the reverse so much, okay? Grown-ups, sure. Right? And so, yeah, but the Simpsons, there you go. Family Guy. I mean, like it really is in all the media that we consume. And then going back to what I was saying before about men. Men, when they work out, right? Like women just like a guy for the most part that's just like fit. They might have a certain type, but women don't necessarily like super muscular guys. I'm not saying that there's no woman that does, but a lot of times men who get into gym culture and get really big and muscular, they do it for themselves and for bodybuilding culture. There's like a diminishing returns on being super big. Like I said, there's someone for everyone. But most of the time, like women don't care if a guy's like huge and muscular. They care that they take care of their body and like they're clean. Then they like being that they are muscular, but not necessarily like super big and muscular. A lot of times that's for the guy for bodybuilding. And if you get into bodybuilding culture, if you're part of the MISC forms, if you're a Jehovah's Witness, Jason Jehovah's Witness, you'll understand that the culture is more about the physique. There is, to an extent, an art. Are you shitting? Okay. Anyway, there's an art to bodybuilding. Sorry. There's an art to bodybuilding. Okay. And the art is about getting large, but it's also about maintaining a particular physique. It's about working on your muscular imbalances. It's about like fluffing up certain muscles to appear like to look like you're literally sculpted by Greek sculptors. It is actually a real thing. It's about like, oh, my my rear delts are really lagging. I'm going to use my mind muscle connection to be able to specifically isolate and work out my rear delts, right? It's about that. Oh, the crease in my chest is a little saggy. I'm going to pull in some like close grip bench press and get those up there. I want to fluff up my chest more. I'm going to hit some incline bench or incline flies. It's about all these different things that are meant to like sculpt your body in a way. And that's most people who are really big and fit. That's what it's all about. If you look at a lot of athletes like Brian Shaw, Dan Green, people like that, most of them are really muscular. They're really fit. They're incredible competitors, but their wives aren't super into lifting culture, and they love them because they're attractive and whatnot, but the big muscles aren't necessarily a factor. And so there's a lot of ignorance just from Jack Denmo across the board on his content. And he also has a weird obsession with some dude. I forget whose name it is. But he has like this weird obsession with I could probably find. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. He has this bizarre obsession with Jack Harlow. I don't understand it. But what I find most interesting is that he's selling a program on how to get girls. And the reality is the only way that he gets girls is because he has money, right? Like, then that's good for him. He has money and he's confident, and it's pretty easy to do that. But there's there's nothing outside of that. All of his videos are bullshit prank video, and that's fine. Like, you do you. His first hit video here, he has a podcast down here on his main channel that's got like 500 views, whatever. But his first like hit video is like a month without your phone or without pee-pee, and he asks girls. Like, this is the type of content that he makes. Right? He has a video that says, do girls like big muscles? Interesting. But this is the type of content where you go into public and you ask a question and then you look for an answer. Okay. So like, let's say I wanted to find out if all women would cheat on their husbands of 10 years for $500, right? Right. What I would do is I'd go into public somewhere and I would ask I'm not even kidding, like 1,000 women, like as many women as possible, maybe even over a weekend, this question. And then I would take the 4 that said yes, and I would say, see, women are not loyal. That's what this entire content base is centralizes around. And then he takes this, and for whatever reason, getting big on YouTube makes you feel valid to create a podcast that's effectively just shitting on women. I'm not saying he's unattractive, but it's like, why are you writing the key to success when it comes to picking up girls and selling it, by the way, and selling it for $247? Why? Because he wants to scam his audience, because it seems like maybe his clout kind of ran out and he's not necessarily performing great. And he's taking it, he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to siphon as much money out of these fucking incels that follow me as possible. That's really what it boils down to. That's all it really boils down to. One-time fee, access for life, which I'm assuming implies that he updates it, but I kind of doubt that he does do that. So... yeah, that's really all I had to say. At the end of the day, I'll give you the free course on how to get girls, okay? Treat them like people and try to be more confident in yourself. There's not a lot else you could do. you know, maybe ask them out in public. That might be a little awkward socially, but do it in the right way that makes people feel comfortable. Or women, be like, hey, I find you attractive. Here's my number. You know, call me or text me if you ever want to go on a date. This way, she doesn't feel like you're invading her privacy and asking for her number, because that could be a very uncomfortable thing. That's it. I mean, there's not much else you could do. And work on yourself. Be somebody that's worth dating in general, whether you're a man or a woman, right? Get a hobby. Do something. I don't know. Be passionate. Be successful. That success has to do with you. You don't have to make $1 million a year or $100,000 a year. Just, you know, do something and progress towards getting better. And people will look at that and they'll reflect positively on it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.